Hello everyone and welcome to the Carcode YouTube channel. My name's Sam, and if you're new here, please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload a new video. First of all, I want to say a huge thanks to DSG Renault in Morecambe for making this video possible. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Renault Austral. This is the mid-size hybrid SUV. I'm going to be going into the trims, the colours, technology and seeing what it's like compared to its competitors. If that sounds good, please make sure to keep watching this video till the end to get a full overview on the Austral. First, starting with these headlights, they are standard across the range. They're the Renault LED Matrix Vision lights. They've got sequential indicators and the classic C shape on the light, which looks really great. Just really great technology. It can blank out the beams. You can also switch them over to French side, so you don't need to put your little Euro light sticker things on. So very clever technology, and they just look excellent. One thing I really do like on the Austral is the indicators, how obvious they are. I'll show you the front ones now. And you can see there the indicators in the sequential flowing pattern, standard on all models, and just has a really nice touch of class to it and extremely obvious. That's great because in the past we've seen a lot of tiny indicators on cars. You can't really miss that. You've also got this gloss black grille here. This one is the Techno Alpine Esprit trim line, so it's the middle of the range. I'll go into the little bit more of the trims later on, but these headlights look excellent. You can see here you've got the new Renault badge, which looks really great. It's a nice improvement. It's in what Renault call ice black, so it's a nice sort of shadow grey look and just looks really sporty and nice, and it's grown a lot in size. Again, you've got this staggered effect on the grille, looks great. You've also got what they call the F1 blade, which is this piece under here. I'll talk about the exterior colour now. Being the Alpine model, it is the sportier spec, but it's the mid-level. So on the Techno trims, which is the base model, it doesn't have a sportier of a look. Talking about the paintwork options, as standard you get the Arctic white. That looks really nice, especially with the contrasting black roof. That is a £500 option if you want Arctic white with the contrasting roof. That's really good value for money and definitely the one I'd go for just for that excellent look. Your metallic paintwork options are £750 and there's a few to choose from. I personally really like the iron blue metallic. This is the shadow grey metallic. You've also got the flame red and diamond black too. So you've got a good choice there of different colours. Like I said, iron blue is my favourite. You can even get this shadow grey in a matte finish for £1,700. That looks excellent. It's a really lovely flagship colour for Renault and something really interesting that they've done. So I'm looking forward to seeing in the future what more interesting colours Renault come out with. Like I say, the Arctic white with the contrasting diamond black roof looks great. This shadow grey though will be very popular. Grey is a huge colour at the moment for all manufacturers, so I can see a lot of people liking this. Looks really nice out of the showroom in the real world. Even on this drizzly day, I really like the design of the car. The cladding all along the sides is all in gloss, as we see on quite a lot of manufacturers now, rather than the matte plastic that we saw on earlier SUVs. But this two-tone look looks great. Also, all the pillars are in gloss, which is really nice, just adds the premium touch to the vehicle. Wheels offered on the Austral are very easy to explain because there's only two choices. So these are the 20-inch Daytona alloy wheels that you get on all the Alpine models. So really nice. They are a diamond cut wheel, two-tone, a really dark grey, and they just look really modern and sporty. They've got a decent enough profile on. Of course, they're not going to be as supple as a 19-inch wheel. It's going to feel a little bit smoother, and obviously some competitors have decided to get rid of bigger wheels just to have that ride comfort. The 19-inch wheels come on the Techno model, the base model, and they're called the Comma alloy wheels. Quite nice, but not quite as nice as these Alpine wheels, which look excellent. They even say Alpine on there as well. If you think Alpine is the French sports car brand, that's correct. Obviously they're owned by Renault Group, so it's sort of like Mercedes using AMG. It's a very similar concept. So to the back of the Austral, you've got the new Renault badge here as well, and it's spelled across here with your little E, because they're all the E-Tech. I guess that sort of changes the way you pronounce it. Some people say Austral. I say Austral because of the E on the end. I'll show you the boot now. It's electric tailgate. you get a really impressive boot on the Austral. So with the seats slid all the way forward, you get 555 litres, and with the seats back, you get 487. That is really generous, especially for a hybrid vehicle, even self-charging. It's very good. For example, the Honda ZR-V only offers 380 litres, which is the same as a Volkswagen Golf. Sure, that is one of the smallest on the market, but this is a really decent sized boot, bigger than many competitors, so that's excellent to know. For families, it would be great. So on the highest model, due to the four-wheel steering system and being the battery in the back, you can't opt for a spare wheel. However, on this one, the Techno Esprit Alpine, you can get a spare wheel for £300, and you can also get a spare wheel for £300 on the Techno model. Renault really streamlined their offering with the trim levels, like most manufacturers, so the only option you can actually add is the spare wheel and the colour. So it just makes it very simple when buying used as well, because you don't have to look for cars that have got certain bits and bobs on. They've all got them on each trim level, so it's easy to understand and much easier for Renault dealers as well, so that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, nice that you actually have the space for a spare wheel should you wish to fit one. Many manufacturers don't even have the space for one if you wanted to put one in, so the fact that this has got that is great. Lots of people still like to have the peace of mind of a spare wheel in the boot of their car. The electric tailgate is a really handy feature that is standard on the Techno Esprit Alpine and also on the iconic Esprit Alpine, so it's not on the Techno model. As this is a family car, let's have a hop in the back and see what the space is like. So firstly, sitting, the first thing you notice is how comfortable and squishy the bases of the seats are. You do have this pull-out centre armrest as well, with two cup holders in this leather-like material. That feels really nice. You do have some little nets on the back of the seats. Quite chunky seats, so very comfortable for the front. The headrests are quite bulky as well, so you don't get the best view out. And especially without the sunroof and with the dark headlining, that might be a bit of an issue for kids who might feel a little bit claustrophobic in the back of here. You don't have any through loading, which is a shame. You've got two USB-C ports, which is pretty good. I'll sit in the middle seat now. The middle seat isn't too bad either, although if you're a bit larger, you would hit the seat belts buckles. That might be a bit of a problem. They all are quite tight together, so if you're having three people in the back of here, often it could be an issue. Children should be absolutely fine. You've got the tunnel here as well, which most people should be able to place their feet on or on either side. Quite comfortable. The middle seat isn't too much of a complaint for me, and the materials feel okay. Of course, they're not quite as standard as the front, but you do have this nice sort of satin chrome here and nice blue stitching as well throughout. This cloth in the middle is kind of scratchy, not a big fan of that. It reminds me of what Hyundai and Kia used to use. It is comfortable, it just doesn't feel or look the best. I've slid the seats forward to get that 555 litres of boot space, and I've got a little bit of knee room because the backs of the seats are carved out and they're actually a nice material. You've got loads of headroom still, but obviously you feel a little bit tight having them all the way forward. However, obviously you can, when you have them all the way back, you've got loads of leg room, so somewhere in between would be fine, giving you probably about 500 litres of boot space and having still quite a lot of leg room. Really useful and just nice and configurable. Obviously it's 60/40, so these slide independently of each other, which is really handy should you have large items in the boot or whatever. You can recline the seats back as well. They go about that far, or have them more upright too, so that's nice. Talking about families, that brings me on to safety. As standard, the Austral gets a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating, which is really great to see. It puts it ahead of Stellantis with most of their SUV products and other French SUVs such as the Citroën C5 Aircross and also the Citroën C5X. So inside the Austral, what is it like? Well, it's not like Renaults of past that had clunky switchgear and felt a little bit cheap inside. Not at all. They definitely upped their game massively, which they needed to do, especially obviously upping their prices. However, the Austral isn't ridiculously priced. The retail offers on the Austral at the moment aren't incredibly strong, with the deposit contribution ranging from £1,000 to £1,500 on the top of the range models. But because they've competitively priced the list price, I suppose that's why they don't need to offer hefty incentives to bring that down, so that makes sense. And again, a better view Really love that startup. This is your multi-sense button, which is your driving modes. All of your buttons are in gloss black, but they're not haptic ones, they're proper ones. Oh, hi.
Hi, a lot is going on in the world today. I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Well, that's nice, isn't it? Google, it mostly just the Google functions like the nav and everything. Apparently it can do your temperature, but it's not really like that. Let's try it. Turn my heated seats on.
Okay, turning on the seat heater for the driver. Sorry, I can't control that at the moment. Try again later.
I don't know if it's been PDI'd this car, so maybe that'll be why it doesn't do that. This really reminds me of an airplane throttle, so you're like that, taking off. Do all the flight checks. Ready for takeoff. And off we go. No, only joking. This is obviously aviation inspired, but it's simply your palm rest for the screen and also a handle to move the storage, which reveals cup holders, and on this side some storage. And it also has the wireless charging bay on the top as well. It could get in the way for some people, I definitely think. Yeah, I mean, if you've got really short arms, this would be a right pain, because even if you put it there, it would just cause a bit of annoyance. So yeah, but I think it looks quite nice. You can use that as a palm rest should you wish to use the infotainment system, and that makes sense to me. These seats are nice. You've got part Alcantara and cloth there as well. However, this cloth, I'm not a huge fan of the cloth segments inside. However, it does feel very hard wearing, so that should last a long time. You do also have ISOFIX points in the front, so they've kept up with lots of manufacturers by doing that. This headlining is quite dark, and it doesn't have a sunroof on this mid-range model. On the Techno model, you have a slightly lighter headlining, which will make it brighter, and on the iconic Esprit Alpine, you do have the full panoramic roof, which will obviously make it a lot lighter and nice in here. You can obviously configure your digital dials. I am not a fan of the gear selector placement, very Mercedes-esque, being up there. No, not a fan of that. Lots of the time Mercedes gets criticised for using Renault ideas and parts. This, I'm criticising Renault for using a Mercedes idea. It's not for me. A little turn dial or something like that would be much better. Even a little toggle would look a lot better. Google systems are really well talked about. It's the portrait, and it's not massive. It's a 12-inch screen, so it is a big screen. The fact that it's like portrait just looks a lot better. It's not huge, which a lot of manufacturers are doing now, and it seems a little unnecessary. So I do think that's really great that they've gone and done that. Got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, wireless of course, your car menus. This is your multi-sense button, which is on the steering wheel, so you literally just press it and it'll go into your different modes. So you've got sport, comfort. Okay, Google, take me to Pizza Express.
All right, there's a Pizza Margherita 1.7 miles away. Want to navigate there?
No.
All right, what about the one 1.6 miles away?
No. No. Cancel.
Okay, another one is 19 miles away. Want to navigate there?
Cancel. So that's quite easy. Okay, Google, when is it raining next?
Today in Morecambe, there's a very high chance of scattered rain from now until tomorrow at about 6 a.m.
Compared to every other in-car voice assistant, it works so well. You've got this 12.3-inch digital dash as well, and the steering wheel is really nice sized. You've got a bit of Alcantara here at the bottom, which won't get too grubby because it's at the bottom of the wheel rather than at the top where you hold, but I don't know if it needed to be added. You do have this ambient lighting as well, which changes depending on what driving mode you're in. So let's have a look under the bonnet of the Austral. It is on hydraulics, which not many cars have got a hydraulic bonnet now, which is really nice that we've got it, just a nice premium touch. There's only one engine / powertrain choice on the Austral, and it's the 1.2 turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol engine. Combined with the electric motors to the front wheels, it pumps out 200 brake horsepower, 67 of which is from the electric motors and the rest is from the 1.2 turbocharged engine. So quite a unique engine setup really. It's got 4 mechanical gears and 2 electric gears as well, says Renault, and it doesn't have a clutch, so they say it's F1 technology. It all seems very complicated and hard to get your head around. I haven't driven one yet. I have driven the Nissan Juke e-Power, which has a similar system with the 6 gears, the 4 being the mechanical ones and the 2 being electric, and from what I've heard it is a very smooth driving experience, so that's good. You get an official miles per gallon of 60.1, and there's been varied reports from high 40s to mid 50s, so that's pretty good for this size of family SUV. They're all front wheel drive as well, so although it's an SUV, it's not all wheel drive. There we go. We will see an all-wheel drive Renault Rafale when that comes later on in the year, and that'll be a 300 brake horsepower E-Tech. So that's very interesting. We might even see it come to the Austral, who knows, and the Rafale will also have the same powertrain as this as well offered. So in summary, what do I think of the Renault Austral? Well, I think it's a really lovely, capable mid-size family SUV. The hybrid tech is all extremely clever, but definitely something you'd need to try out for yourself to see how it suits you and your lifestyle. Renault say it can run up to 80% of the time in EV mode around town, which is very impressive, and it can run in EV mode of up to 70 miles per hour, which is also really impressive. So lots of impressive stats, and you could see Renault's definitely going in the right direction with their products. I'm even more excited for the coupe SUV, the Rafale, which is coming later on in the year. There's loads of mid-size SUVs out there, so the market is incredibly saturated. I think it's definitely priced itself quite premiumly, but cheaper than a lot of other cars on the market as well. But with a hybrid, it makes a lot of sense. If, however, you don't need a hybrid or automatic, etc., there's loads of other options that come a lot cheaper. This mid-spec Esprit Alpine Techno model is quite dingy inside, so I think lots of families might not like that as much as the base Techno or as the Esprit Alpine iconic models. Thank you so much to DSG Renault in Morecambe for making this video possible. All of their links will be in the description down below. I really enjoyed checking out the new Austral E-Tech. And thank you for watching. For more new car and van reviews, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and I hope to see you in my next video.